All right. Cool. All right. So you're going to go in front of the door. You're going to find your name. Make sure it's your name. And then you're going to say, all right. Everybody? Everyone feel good? Oh, yeah. All right. Shoulders back, heads up, smile. 3, 2, 1. You may not.
Come on in.
Hello, Robert.
Hey,
I see you guys.
tell me, Robbie, please.
Rametta from Someone Insurance.
Nice to meet you, Kevin.
May I take a seat?
You, of course. Please.
Okay, fine. So this is my business card. So before we start, there we go. Just so you have my contact info.
Okay, thanks, Kevin.
And since today is Thursday, and the Arnold Palmer event is actually going on right now as we speak.
That's right, Bay Hill.
I'm a big fan of Tiger, growing up, loving golf, connoisseur, through and through. Don't talk about my handicap. However, did you see what happened to Tiger? He had to withdraw.
Did he?
Yes, yeah.
I did not.
Back spasms. I just want to see, what's your opinion? Do you think he's gonna possibly break the major record or no?
I'd love to see him do it. I'm, rooting for Tiger. I was really disappointed, to see him do what he did, but,
Right,
we're all human and make mistakes, and, I'm definitely rooting for him to recover it. It seemed like he was making strides last year.
Right.
He's, on the right path, so that's really awful news to hear he's got back spasms.
Yeah, I'm quite sad. Quite sad actually as a fan. But so I want to thank you again for sitting down with me. The purpose of today is to just kind of understand more about Pinecrest, and the current program that you have in place, and to just move forward and provide value where Seminole Insurance can and where I see fit. How does that sound?
That sounds great. I think that'd be perfect, Kevin.
Okay.
But how long have you been doing this?
So I've been in the industry for 2 years.
Okay.
I graduated from FSU, RMI program. So
yeah,
top
that's
5
a good program.
Top 5 in the nation as of this year. So it just passed when I graduated, obviously. But they're on the rise. And also, I interviewed with John. John is the one who hired me. You know John very well.
Yeah, which I don't know him that well, but I met him at an
Right.
alumni event, and he told me he was in Alaska and couldn't attend this
Right,
meeting.
yeah,
I'm so jealous. I'd
Yeah,
love
I
to
wish
go
I
to
could do
Alaska.
that too.
Yeah.
Right? No, but he told me a lot about you and a lot about the country club. And I mean, he's the one who hired me. So something that for me is huge is that he believes in me.
Yeah.
And I also am not the only person that would be helping on your account.
Okay.
So if my age is a question that you have, like a possible concern maybe?
It is. So that's why I ask.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some other folks on the committee that's helping with this evaluation that would likely express some concern around that. So that's why I wanted to ask you about it.
Okay, well, just something I want to point out is, like, I would be your quarterback, your point of contact. However, John even would be someone I would tap into for help. And then obviously the backside of it, in the service team, we provide top-notch help and claim service to our clients. So
That's really important. Very, very important.
I don't have any testimonials with me. I don't like to bring those to meetings. However, if you do refer to the website, there are plenty on there that not only mention our whole team, but me specifically. In my 2 years of doing this.
Yeah.
Specifically country clubs, that is my focus. So something I pride myself on.
Okay, perfect.
But moving forward, are there any other timelines going towards the renewal date on July 1st that I need to be aware of?
Yeah, it's a good question. We're not quite sure what we're going to do. That's the purpose of us having this conversation.
Right.
We've been happy with our current provider. There really haven't been any major hiccups that are really, motivating us to evaluate a switch. As far as timelines go, probably the most important timeline for you is knowing that in 2 weeks, we're going to make a decision about how we're going to handle the renewal. It may be that we'll switch to a local firm. Maybe that we'll stay with our current provider that's not located here. We could have a few brokers involved in our renewal. We really don't know. That's the purpose of having this conversation. But we do need to know definitively what the plan is in 2 weeks.
Okay. So I guess on that, I knew that it was a board of directors and you guys have set apart a team. Are you specifically the one I would be coming to with the new program as a plan, and you would be the one with the executive power to decide who goes forward, or how does that?
Yeah, it's a good, fair question. I wouldn't say executive power, because, I do report to the board, but, I'd say I'm the most influential because I'm the GM.
Right.
The other committee members on the insurance committee are going to be very influential as well. They couldn't attend today, but I'm going to loop them in on this conversation, and if it makes sense to meet again, they would be at that second meeting. So yeah, I would be the primary influencer, and then it goes to the board.
The main decision maker in terms of moving forward.
Then it goes to the finance committee because we're a part of the finance committee, the subcommittee.
Perfect. So going into the insurance program that you guys currently have, what are your pressing matters that are on your mind that weigh you down, that kind of concern you?
Yeah, good question. So the most concerning, well, there's a few things. At the top of the list is claim advocacy in the event of a hurricane. I had an awful experience in my past that really opened my eyes to a number of things. And so, if we were to evaluate a change to another, advisory firm, we've got to feel confident that the claim advocacy in the event of a nasty storm is first class.
Okay. Well, I do know that last time you spoke, you did say that at your last club you didn't have a disaster recovery plan. Since coming here to Pinecrest, do you know if there's one in place?
There is one in place. Whether or not it's the most effective plan for us, we're certainly open to some additional perspective on it. But given what happened at my former club, we had to make sure something was in place.
Yeah. Okay. And then are there any other pressing concerns you have?
Yeah, I want to make sure that as we grow and evolve, our risk and insurance program grows and evolves with us. I've been given some pretty aggressive goals by the board that I'm excited to meet. And they're surrounding membership growth over a certain time frame. And there's a number of things we think we need to do to achieve those goals. And so I want to make sure our program contemplates all that stuff.
And just quick on that, how do you look at going forward in growth in terms of membership?
So it's a lot of capital expenditures, a lot of investments in our facilities, and that's a big piece of this evaluation again, is making sure the program evolves with us. So we're going to upgrade the locker rooms. The pro shop's going to be expanded. The course is even going to get expanded. We're going to add an executive course.
Good.
We're going to add an area for families to play. A big PlayStation or playground is going to get put in. And then another big part of that growth effort has to do with hosting some charitable events.
Okay. And on that, I do know that we talked about the Tiger Woods one possibly coming up.
Yeah. So Glenn Greenspan is a buddy of mine, former classmate.
Wow.
And Glenn is just world class, right? He was a communications director at Augusta National. So Glenn and I are fired up about an event we're going to likely host early next year to benefit the First Tee of Northwest Florida. So we have to get our facilities upgraded by then, because we're really thinking that if we can make a splash with our upgrades at that event, it's going to create tremendous exposure for new membership, not to mention support a really worthwhile cause.
For sure. So with that, do you have anything specifically that you're concerned about besides just the upgrades and the renovations, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, beyond that, it seems like I can't pick up, the news without reading about some massive data breach. So as we continue to invest in more technology to help us operate more efficiently and improve the member experience, I get more and more concerned about, cybersecurity.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a big deal.
Okay, well, we do have a program for that. So I will, upon getting your current policies, which we'll touch on, I can review that and then upgrade your limits, increase them, or as we see fit, put in our program.
Okay. Since you're, talking about some of your programs, it has me thinking, Kevin, that or it gets me curious about some specific things you've done for other clubs like ours that would be helpful in me, kind of sharing the feedback from our conversation with the other committee members. So what have you done that you feel is overly unique that would be worth sharing with my committee members?
So actually, with the course not too far from here, we also did a event similar. Didn't have a host like Tiger, and it didn't get a big name aspect to it, but they did a hole-in-one event, and that's something that's huge. Most companies don't actually touch on it. I actually personally, as a kid growing up, I've been through many tournaments and never knew that this was insurance.
Yeah.
There's a specific program for it. So it'd be where you pay the premium on it, and then if someone were to make the hole-in-one or the longest drive or whatever the special event is, the insurance company then would be the one paying it up, and it wouldn't be on your shoulders.
Nice.
So
okay.
that is something that we do. And then also with that, a question I guess for you is, are you letting Tiger and his company or his team come in and run the whole thing through your country club?
Yeah,
or
I don't
kind
know
of
if Tiger's actually going to be here.
Okay,
that would
his
be
team,
awesome.
yeah,
I think Glenn is just, the plan is that he'll just help us put it on.
Okay.
Just because he's, had a ton of success putting on charity events.
Right. And are you letting them run it like hands off, or are you going to be there observing and making sure everything runs smoothly? How
I wouldn't say hands off.
Okay.
We'll likely formally hire Glenn's company, but we're obviously, it's here at our club. It's something that we're really counting on to help advance our kind of our growth efforts around membership recruitment and all that. So we'll be very involved. Legally, it's my understanding that when I enter into an agreement with Glenn, that we're going to shift some liability to him.
Yeah, you make sure that that's in place on his side, and then also make sure yours is adequate.
Yeah.
Something with tournaments like this in the past, you have say 150 members, people attending it and playing in it. I'm not gonna lie, when you golf, drink a lot, have a lot of beers, whatever. So liquor liability can come up, and make sure that's actually adequate, especially for an event like this. Do you know if you guys have that, and if it is in place?
Do we have liquor liability?
Yes.
Okay, 100%. We have liquor liability, and
right.
All our bartenders are trained properly, so we feel pretty good about our kind of risk management efforts there.
Okay, and then one other thing, a little specific. Do you know how many golf carts you have specifically?
Yeah, I do, only because we just replaced them a little while ago. We've got 240.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, are there any other concerns you have specifically about the event or anything else in your current program?
Yeah, I'd say as we kind of go down the list of priorities, I'm concerned about employment issues and risks surrounding employment issues.
Okay.
This whole Me Too movement has me concerned that something like a claim could arise here at the club. We would obviously not want that to happen.
Right.
We think we create the right culture that strongly discourages that type of behavior, but that's a concern.
Okay, we do have a program for that as well. So upon reviewing
you guys have a lot of programs,
right? Yes, yes, we do. So there's EPLI, Employment Practices Liability. That is what I believe you're talking about, and it has to do with firing for no cause, that kind of situation. But along with the Me Too stuff you just mentioned, so making sure those numbers are adequate, your coverages are adequate. We would be taking a massive look at that, since that is a concern of yours.
Okay.
Is that all you have currently?
Yeah, I mean, there's other concerns, but the other concerns are kind of to be expected. Issues related to workers' compensation, environmental exposures. Because we got a lot of chemicals and pesticides and all that stuff.
Okay. Well, with your permission and your acceptance of it, would you mind sending me your current policies by the end of today?
Man, by the end of today.
So I want to get started.
I like the sense of urgency and give me a timeline. Yeah, Kevin, I think we'd like to do that. We do not want anybody to rush out and get quotes for us. I've been down this path before, thinking I'm, doing a good thing for my club. Is it a former club, and it's a nightmare. So, yeah, we would like you to evaluate what we have. Absolutely, do not talk to any underwriters, create any disruption with carriers. If I find out you've done that, we're going to have to end the conversations. But yeah, we'd like an evaluation of what we have, and then we'd like just a conceptual proposal, again, no quotes, on how you would potentially transition our relationship to Seminole Insurance, and then support us through this, through all these projects. That'd be fantastic, and having that would really help us make a good decision about whether or not we should move forward with a different product.
Well, upon obtaining those documents and reviewing them, may I email you as well with some follow-up questions, possibly by the end of the week?
Yeah.
To just kind of create the program that we believe fit
Yeah.
for your company?
Sure.
Okay, and then how about meeting next week? Something that I'd like to do is meet prior to renewal and to just kind of show you and discuss the program that we have in place that we believe would be best fit for Pinecrest. Are you free next Wednesday at 2?
I got to check with the other committee members.
Okay.
I appreciate the urgency because, you know, we did talk
Correct,
about the
yeah.
2-week deadline that we're looking for, but I don't think it's going to make sense to only back up. What would make the most sense is if we just meet with the rest of the committee.
Correct.
And we talk about your, you know, conceptual proposal.
Okay, so will you let me know that date
Sure.
to do so?
Yep, I'll get back to you later this afternoon. All right.
Thumbs up.
That went a little longer. When I practiced it, it was